We have to do something so the environment changes and people know when you murder somebody in this city, you will be held accountable. We will come for you.
It's the call for help that now has Missouri's governor talking. St. Louis Alderman Brandon Bosley says there's a crisis in parts of North City, and he says the National Guard is needed to control the violence. Thanks for joining us. I'm Mike Bush.
And I'm Ann Allred. It comes after another violent weekend in which several people were shot. Here's a closer look at the area that Alderman Bosley says is under siege. It's a tiny sliver of the city, basically what's known as the College Hill neighborhood. Tonight, our Art Holiday is getting reaction from people who live there on whether the National Guard will make a difference.
Well, calling in the National Guard to keep the peace is never a popular decision, and we'll debate all day long about whether it's a good decision. I spoke to a business owner and a community activist about gun violence in St. Louis, and like the rest of us, they're sick and tired of it, saddened by it, and they want something done. But what?
We have to start respecting each other. Whether we like each other or not, we still have to respect each other.
How can we all work together to figure out to resolve these dangerous situations without bringing in the military?
Violence is not unique to St. Louis, but none of that matters if it's your community, your neighborhood where the bullets are flying. So when Ward 3 Alderman Brandon Bosley called for the National Guard as part of the solution to gun violence, it's a sign of just how bad things have become. One of the observations from Alderman Bosley concerns parks like the one behind me. He says that parents are afraid to let their children go outside and play in parks because of the gun violence. While we were shooting video Monday at Russell Park, community activist Justin Eidelberg walked by. To illustrate the point, he showed us some cell phone photos.
I photographed some bullet casings that was on the ground. You know, that's very disheartening for me because I grew up when I was a little kid, we created Kodak moments. You know, and I don't see bullet cases as helping kids create Kodak moments. Kodak moments aside, Justin doesn't see the National Guard as a solution to keep the peace. It's a new level of trauma. You know, that lets me know, have we really learned from what happened in Ferguson from the trauma that was inflicted on those protesters and residents with militarized weaponry and vehicles?
I grew up in this area. I grew up in North St. Louis.
This North City business owner doesn't want her face shown and doesn't want us to reveal the location of her business. She's afraid someone with a gun won't like it, but she does want her voice heard.
First of all, we have to find a way to get the guns off the street. How are these youngsters keep ending up with these guns? National Guards is not the answer. We need to come up with another solution.
In St. Louis and city after city around the nation, the search for Kodak moments, as Justin put it, continues for our children and families who live in violent neighborhoods. They're desperate for peace, and there are no easy solutions. And Ann, you have reaction from the governor.
We do. Governor Parsons' office did get back to us at 5 on your side, and his response, just 2 sentences, doesn't sound like the National Guard is an option. Here's what he had to say. It's certainly sad anytime someone is tragically affected by crime. While we understand the challenges, we are committed to working with local officials and jurisdictions all across Missouri on practical solutions to reduce crime. We'll continue to follow this story as it develops over the next several days. Get updates on our website, ksdk.com, and on the 5 on Your Side app.